The subject of Warcraft 3 Reforged Refund is one that I've been following closely, and today I have a so-called response from Blizzard. One that I believe was totally underwhelming, to say the least. Let's take a look. Now, in a response with Blizzard's very own J. Allen Brack, this is what he had to say. Hell, War 3 players. We've been following the discussion the past couple days and want to thank you for your feedback as well as your support. First off, we want to say that we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, and we'd like to share our plans for what's coming next. There were a few hours during the launch day where we experienced server load issues that impacted players' ability to jump straight in. But we were able to resolve those later in the day. Separate from that, we've seen community feedback about different aspects of Reforged that we wanted to take some time to address. Before we go on, the team is excited that Warcraft 3 Reforged is finally upon us, and we're fully committed to supporting the game for a long time to come. The next few patches and updates we'll be discussing below are just a part of the ongoing plan. This game is an integral part of the Blizzard DNA. With a team that loves Warcraft 3, and we're looking forward to pouring our hearts into Warforged and Warcraft 3 community for a long term. Now, before we go any further, I just got to say, if this is what's in the DNA, maybe that's why we're having problem with Warcraft, World of Warcraft, because DNA seems to be muddied. But let's go on. One of the concerns with Reforged that we've seen are the visuals when selecting Classic mode. We've identified the bug causing the colors and shading to look different from the original Warcraft 3, and we're testing a fix that will be incorporated in a larger patch addressing this issue and others. We expect to release that later this week. The patch will also address many other known issues, such as fixing some portrait animations and audio bugs, implementing some UI fixes, and more. Please keep an eye out for the patch notes for a detailed list of all the bug fixes. Another area of concern we're seeing is regarding the online features such as leaderboards and clans, which applies to all of Warcraft 3 players, including those who haven't purchased Warforged. At BlizzCon, we talked a lot about how the team is actively working on standing up the back end to ensure smooth transitions into the MMR system, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered. As with Remastered, these and other features will be included in a major patch for Reforged, which will also be addressing issues for players of the original game. We'll share the release plans as work progresses in the coming weeks. Please be assured that the team is hard at work standing these features up. In my way of looking at it, that would be propping it up with something behind it to hold it. That way we don't knock it down. But let's go forward. There are some individual concerns that we've seen that we are not currently planning to address, and we wanted to give the community a heads up. As of version 1.30, the original game, we saw a very low usage of tournaments and the Reign of Chaos rule set. So we've removed both in mid-2019. In version 1.31, Eliminating the maintenance for underused elements has helped us streamline our overall support for the game and focus on areas impacting the most players. That said, we do anticipate that players who prefer Reign of Chaos will find custom games with similar rule sets, which we hope will help satisfy that concern. Now, before we go any further, my way of looking at it here, what they're saying is that we was not playing Warcraft 3 enough, so they took it away from us. Kind of like sticking their hand in your billfold and taking money and walking away. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Now let's go on. Related to that, as we talked about last year at BlizzCon, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game. We went a little deeper into the thought process behind that at the show. But the main takeaway is that the campaigns tell one of the classic stories in Warcraft history. And we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive those unforgettable moments as they were, albeit rebuilt with a new animation and higher fidelity art. We know that this update doesn't address all questions, but we're committed to the development and support of this game. And we hope you'll keep an eye out for this week's patch and future updates and let us know what you think as we continue to fine-tune things. We appreciate all your feedback and will continue to keep Warcraft 3 community updated on everything we're working on. Sincerely, the Warcraft 3 Reforged team. Now, I don't know about you, but to me it sounds like a cop-out. Now, there was one more statement that came out that I wanted to take a look at. Blizzard stands behind the quality of our product and our services. Normally, we set limits for refund availability on a game based on the time since purchase and if it had been used. However, we want to give the players the option for a refund if they feel that Warcraft 3 Reforged does not provide the experience that they wanted. In my way of looking at it, I don't see a single player who goes out and sets their goals on a crappy launch, crashing the game, not being able to play it, and that being the experience that they wanted. So myself, if it was me, I would suggest everybody gets a refund. And I don't know about you, but I see this game as a total disaster. And I believe not only should they refund the game, but let the players keep the meat wagon mount. After all, it could serve as a reminder not to trust a game based on it being made by Blizzard. Now, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. This is Hawk with the weekly gaming news. And remember, why level alone when you can level up with Hawk Gaming?